Hi, welcome back to the Medicare Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Kuhn, and your Medicare advisor, and I've got a special guest, Darcy, from Excellus BlueCross BlueShield here with me today.
Thank you, Jeff, and good afternoon, everyone.
Thanks for joining me again, Darcy, since we're shooting this one more time since we had a microphone malfunction, we'll call it.
Those mishaps
They happen. We got one, but we got a couple more to do. And Darcy, just to be clear, you also, people here have heard the word Univera. You pretty much cover all of Western New York.
Yes. So
your area of
Yep.
Central New York. Kind of explain.
Yep. So we have 39 counties that we have coverage in. The counties that I basically manage, and I help brokers such as yourself, I manage the 6 counties in Rochester and then the 8 counties in Western New York. So there's Excellus, which is Rochester. There's also CNY, which my counterpart handles, and then the 8 counties which would be considered Univera territory. I manage
so people
as
heard
well.
the name Univera, and that's affiliation. Okay. Fantastic. And this conversation we're going to have today, which is about over-the-counter, OTC,
Yes.
relates really to all those counties that offer those plans. So you got to make sure your plan has it. I had a client, he's probably going to see this. Mike called me yesterday and was wondering if his plan this year had the OTC or not. So you want to check to make sure you have it.
Yes, absolutely.
And what that dollar amount is. But, the reason we're doing this podcast again, I was telling you, Darcy, it's how many clients I ask. And just the last month, I was like, let me check. People aren't using the OTC. Some, for whatever reason, people I meet that have had Excellus don't know that they've had it.
That would be my mother, who's also a member.
Right.
And we have to remind her, don't forget about your OTC. Well, what is that? Well, Mom, we've talked about it 10 times, but let's make it 11. So,
and some people really take advantage of it. Like Mike, he said he's got enough toothpaste to last another COVID outbreak and run on TP and things. So I said, good for you, because I got enough till I die. He said, I go, hey, I don't know what the shelf life is, but you're set.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a fantastic ancillary benefit that's offered by us. It's no cost to the member. Depending on your plan, you could have anywhere between $30 to $90 per quarter to use for, items such as first aid, cough and cold, allergy. There's even some smaller durable medical equipment for, safety in the bathroom, things of that nature. The list goes on and on.
I mean, I saw a ton of stuff. And the thing I talked about before, which I can't get hard copies of, but clients can, if you have the OTC benefit, you want to call and get this book.
Yes.
It's a complimentary benefit, over-the-counter catalog for $25. And I've said this before, I'm shocked at all the stuff that they have in here. I mean, electric toothbrushes, and there's name brand things in here. It's not just
generics. There are some name brand.
Allergy medicine, this time of year especially, people are starting to feel it. You've got it. And, one of the stories I told, which, I laugh at now, my clients laughed, is, we're talking about the cost of the items in the OTC. And one of my clients, in a group update, for the annual election period, she's like, that dental floss is what she said was a little more expensive than she can go to the store and get it. She goes, that OTC thing, she's kind of going squawking about it. I go, okay. So I go, where did you go? She told me, I go, where did the money come from that you bought that dental floss with? We're not going to figure out your driving there, your gas, pulled out your pocketbook, and you paid for it.
Time spent getting there.
Yeah. And I go, what would you have paid for that dental floss that was a little more expensive than you can get at the grocery store? The lights kind of went off and we're all laughing. I go, it's free.
Yeah,
there's no shipping. There's no tax. And it's available. It doesn't cost you anything. Why not get it?
Yeah. Agreed. And when members generally enroll with us, the catalog that you have in front of you, that's automatically sent to them. So members, once they become an Excellus member or a Univera member, they'll receive that particular catalog. There's also an order form that comes along with it. And really, there's multiple ways to order. It's a little different than some of our competitors, the way that they may have their OTC, but that's something we can kind of tap into, so people are more aware of how to actually utilize the benefit.
Let me make sure I understand what you just said. They get this catalog automatically.
Yes.
They're receiving this.
They're receiving it once they become a member. It is shipped out to them. It has a business envelope, a return envelope, as well as an order form. So they can either do it that way, They can also, if they're a little more tech savvy, there is a mobile app for Convey. They can also go online if they have a computer. They can, certainly register their account and order that way. Or if you have somebody who maybe isn't tech savvy, does not have access to a computer, it's as easy as making a phone call.
Phone call, right. And I think we've got this other sheet, which I can certainly scan if somebody needs a copy of it. Feel free to email me directly at the Medicare Shop at Gmail, and I'll send this to you. But it's got, order by phone, the phone number in here, the app you can use. There's a number of ways to do it. And it's surprising because everybody I ask about it, they never got any information on it.
And I think
you get so much stuff in the mail. I get it.
You do. And I think a lot of the times, just in general, seniors, like you said, they get inundated with different, mailers. And I know when we initially rolled this out, there was no logo. So that was something we had to adjust.
Yeah.
So we noticed the first year we offered OTC, a ton of members were calling, brokers were calling. My member never got this catalog. We would touch back with the vendor and they'd say, well, we mailed like 3 of them. Yeah. And then what we discovered was there was no logo. So to me, you get a catalog, you're not really sure where it came from. And it's like most people pitch it. So we had to do a little updating, but I think it's definitely helped with, members inadvertently discarding that.
It happens. You get so much stuff in the mail, you don't look at it. It's interesting. I ask questions a lot with folks that, they're complaining about prescriptions they used to have covered in Part D plans with Medicare. Your drug coverage changes all the time. And people, they come in for the first time on Medicare and they think vitamins, things like folic acid, vitamin D that they were able to get covered with a prescription under their more traditional insurance is no longer covered and it's considered over the counter. And a lot of people that were getting omeprazole before, through their Medicare plan, it's now considered over the counter. So a lot of people aren't getting it covered. Well, it's in OTC. You can get it for free.
Absolutely.
Don't go to GoodRx and get that one. I've had a lot of people go, I just use GoodRx. It's a few bucks for it. I go, you got this credit. You can just order through here.
Absolutely.
And you don't need a prescription.
Yep. And if for some reason a member, they don't have the catalog, it's easy. Just call Convey. You can call them, which actually I do have the number. It is 1-855-657-7543. They're open from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just, indicate your member number and that you need another catalog, and they can get that out.
They'll send it out. Order an extra one if you can and bring it to the office. Or mail it to me if you can get them.
Yes, they've been
Jeff needs some more.
Yes, so they've been doing a Going Green initiative, and I think we're the only carrier that they're still offering the paper catalogs to. Yeah. But even internally, we don't have that very nice glossy paper catalog. I know. We just get the PDF of it.
I was lucky enough a couple had 2 of them. They allowed me to have one. I will not let this leave the office.
It's like gold.
Nobody can touch it. It's like my favorite pen. It's like gold.
Yeah.
One last thing, Darcy, I want to ask, and this let's assume I've got the OTC. I got a $50 credit every quarter. How can I use that $50? What should I know? Can I order a couple times? Is there a minimum amount I need to order? How does it work?
That is a fantastic question. So with the OTC benefit, it is a quarterly allotment. You need to use as much of your allowance as possible because you can only order one time per quarter.
One time.
So if you have a, say, $50 allowance, try and get as close as you can to that $50 allowance. If you go over, which, some people, they might have $7-8 left, there's something they want that's 12, you can actually pay the difference if you exceed that allowance. But again, one time per quarter, and it doesn't roll over. So if you have a balance, it's not going to roll to the next quarter. Use as much of that as you can each quarter.
That's great information because it's, people ask that all the time.
Yeah.
You can order once per quarter and you can always go over because people are stressing themselves out, trying to figure out how to get the most they can without going over. Well, if you go over $1 or $2 or cents, we had somebody call us, they're over like 27 cents, and they're driving themselves crazy.
Yeah.
You just pay for it.
Yeah. Just pay the difference.
And
absolutely
you get it.
Easy.
It's the cheapest, most stuff you'll ever get for 27 cents.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Very true.
So hopefully you found this helpful and it answers all your questions about over the counter. We really did this intentionally for not just my existing clients, but this is something you can share with other folks that do have the over the counter credit because it really, I think most people aren't using it properly. And this is a lot of information you just don't get from the literature that's out there. So,
Agreed.
Darcy, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for
and
having
explaining
me.
this. Yeah. And we'll got one more coming up, our next podcast. So stick with us, share, like, and subscribe it. And thanks again for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you.